Alright, I am back with another Destiny video, and this week we're going to be talking about some pretty weird stuff that happened at Reset this week. There was no big kind of official anything rolled out. It was triple infamy. That's the extent of the officially announced events. And yet, both shortly after Reset and then this morning, well, late last night, there were two kind of weird secret things found that did not really end up leading to anything in and of themselves, but seemed to be kind of previews of things to come in the final few weeks of the season here. There's, I think, 3 or 4 weeks left in Season of the Hunt. It ends February 9th. And the thing is about how Bungie's doing seasons now is they can debut stuff at the end of the season, even if it's something huge. And it's not a huge deal because all of the seasonal content will last at least an entire year. So anything is possible now. We don't have to necessarily think that whatever comes at the very end is going to be some very minor throwaway thing. That said, it is obviously good to keep expectations in check, as it always is. I am starting to get my hopes up a little bit, though. I'll go into that a little later. The two things seem related, but they might be entirely separate. The first thing that was found is that you can actually rerun pretty much the entire Crow's Nest mission, which is the one that takes place at the dam, where you fight a bunch of Taken and you find Crow's little hidey hole that he's been living in, and then you fight some sort of boss at the end. And it's in a room that, at least I think it's like on top of the Lake of Shadows boss room or below it or something like that, but it's very similar looking. And then there's a couple closed off doorways there that were sealed by like Taken energy. One of those doorways, I think there's two total, one of those doorways opened as of yesterday at Reset, and I'm not quite sure who even thought to look for this, but you can go to that door, you can hit commune with the Traveler, and the Traveler, I guess, will break open that doorway, which leads to kind of like a pair of short hallways, one of which dead ends in a zone transition that says it's, I forget what it's called, but it's whatever the Hawkmoon mission is that's in that lost sector. Hallowed Grove, is that it? Yeah. But you can't really go any further. There's a bunch of debris in the way. If you go the other way, you find a hangar that has a giant kind of fighter jet ship in it. Crow, there's dialogue for this too. Crow and Ghost and I think Glint talk about how, oh, we found this old ship in there. It's not a big deal. Like, I don't know why the Taken bothered with it, like sealing it off. But then once you see the ship, he's like, wait, that's like a different ship. And the explanation is that like the Traveler transformed Hawkmoon, he has transformed the ship. And so it's like fixed and it has a bunch of feathers painted on it. Because I guess the Traveler is really into cool decal art or something. It's obviously meant to be like Crow's ship or a ship for Crow. And that's it. You can't do anything with the ship. There's nothing in that room you can interact with. It's just this room on the offshoot of the boss room that there's really nothing else there, but it's certainly kind of a big thing to just randomly see as a development any given week. And it's so obscure, it's like so out of the way that people weren't just gonna like randomly stumble upon that in normal course of play. There's a second door that's blocked by Taken energy there. I don't know if that's hinting that that will be open next week or something else will happen with the ship room. I'll come back to the ship in a little bit. The second thing that's happened is I woke up this morning with people like pinging me with all these Reddit threads about how someone discovered a tunnel behind an EDZ fireplace that will only open if you shoot a brick wall with Hawkmoon. I guess the tunnel's existence was sort of like out of bounds found a while ago, which is maybe how someone thought to look there, but like you can shoot this little brick area and it's in the area like right under in Trostland where you would go to the Crow's Nest quest. So like there's like 3 stories. The third story will take you to Crow's Nest, and then the second story there's a fireplace that's like right across from the spawn of where you go into Trostland. And you can shoot it as hit markers, but then if you switch to Hawkmoon, if you shoot it like 3 or 4 times, you actually break it. And what's inside here is a very weird, very narrow series of hallways that are kind of like behind the walls of existing structures in like the Mavic Square Dam kind of area. This leads, it's pretty long, it's longer than you would imagine, and it leads to 2 places. One is it dead ends at a laptop in like a recliner chair that's just at the end of one of the long hallways. I don't know who's meant to have been hiding out there using the Wi-Fi there or whatever. And then the second area is a more kind of noticeable dead end where it takes you into a larger room where the hallway is no longer like this wide anymore. And it is sealed by a door, and then there's a switch next to it that's red. And it looks like it could be a puzzle, but you know, the whole might of the Destiny community doesn't seem to uncover anything that you can interact with there. I shot everything in the world there with Hawkmoon. It might just be like a locked door. And I think people even glitched in behind the door, and there's nothing you can access yet. It just sort of dead ends in like an invisible hallway or something like that. But that is like, the rest of the zone is like very detailed. It's very clearly like a secret path for some reason. So what the hell's going on here? That is kind of the question, and I have a couple theories. Okay, so we've been waiting for Hawkmoon random rolls to show up for a long time, and these new secrets could theoretically have something to do with that, and the random roll farm might not be what we anticipated, and these are hiding some you know, secret mission or something that's like what we're going to be doing for Hawkmoon random rolls, and yet I don't think that's the case. My guess is that the actual Hawkmoon random roll farm is going to be what we thought it was originally, which was we saw at least a couple people accidentally get into a version of the Hallowed Grove or whatever it's called mission that was the one where you actually get Hawkmoon, and it had I think a burn, and it had champion modifiers, and I think you could run it with 3 people, and that it seems pretty likely to me that just rerunning a slightly harder version of that mission with modifiers and champions with a team is the most logical way to farm Hawkmoon random rolls. I can't say this for sure, but I am hoping, and there are some clues that might hint at this, that we could be headed for another kind of secret exotic quest kind of thing. I'm probably going to write up all this tomorrow in an article about the quote evidence as to why we might be getting another thing that's like 0 hour. I'm hesitant to do this because we have predicted 0 hour or a 0 hour like mission coming so many times in the past, and it just never comes. I will say that it has been well over a year since 0 hour. That was Season of the Drifter, and we just didn't have any. We had a dungeon, which was great, obviously, in Arrivals, but we never had a secret exotic quest since then. Like not really, not at that level. Okay, so a few different things that I think you can read here. As I said, the Hawkmoon thing seems like it's going to be assigned to that other place, so that would leave this being some entirely new thing. The entrance, the crazy secret tunnel, and the very narrow hallways and stuff, that very much seems like... Is there a ghost? Is there a ghost in my room? Michelle, you're going to slam your fingers in the door. Oh man, that's my wife trying to not get on camera, but also keep me from bothering her at work tomorrow. Or at work downstairs. We share a house and an office space, so if I do these videos and I'm too loud, it will bother her. So I won't edit this out, who cares? Anyway, so that entrance just strikes me as something that is very kind of secret mission-like. I mean, a secret tunnel that is only accessible by Hawkmoon. Just like in a patrol space like that to me very much screams kind of 0 hour and what's Whisper, obviously. So that's not a ton of evidence right there, but we have the ship. The ship is something I have to feel like we're going to get like ourselves. Like I know it's Crow's ship, but you know, we have copies of everyone's ships at some point. We have like Ada's Long Wolf, we have Zavala's ship, we have Cade's ship. Like it's just, that's how the game works. And both Whisper and 0 Hour had their own exotic ships that dropped alongside the actual weapons. There is kind of behind the scenes stuff where like, no, there hasn't been a secret mission data mined or anything like that. So I'm not going to like spoil anything with data mines or anything. But what has been noticed is that all the glitching data mining people have tried to go out of bounds in like this area, and there are a ton of like very specific like out of bounds blockers that prevent people from kind of going out of bounds too much, which I guess in that community is pretty unusual to see. So I think it was Parasito that told me that like he thinks that it's emblematic of a bigger mission because you just don't see that kind of stuff that often. If it was a big mission, it would have to be something that would be patched in. Like they couldn't just slip that in without us noticing or without data miners finding it or finding the zone. We don't know what this could be. Obviously, we had 0 Hour, which was going through the old tower, and then there have been all these rumors about how we're going to repair the old tower and go back to it. But this is like, I don't know if it's the same direction. No, wait, we're in the EDZ, so it wouldn't be the old tower, obviously. Duh. But it you know, there's that whole dam area over there. There could be building out a secret part of the EDZ we don't know about, more or less. And there are 2 hidden triumphs that have not been found for Warden yet, which is the Season of the Hunt triumph. We thought that, or seal, we thought that one of those would be for the Hawkmoon exotic farm, which could be true. The other one could be, I've heard from data miner folks that it is, quote, exotic related. So again, that could be the Hawkmoon farm random rolls, like you've gotten your randomly rolled Hawkmoon once, that counts as a triumph. Or it could be a secret exotic quest. I don't really have any guesses as to what the secret exotic would be. Whisper the Worm was kind of a variant of a Destiny 1 weapon. The Outbreak Perfected was obviously a Destiny 1 weapon. So that seems to be kind of how they're using these secret quests. There's obviously a good amount of iconic weapons that they could still be bringing back. Devrim K has no time to explain up in that tower right there, just in the zone. But some like Mythoclast and stuff are probably going to be safer when they do things like bringing Vault of Glass back. So it's hard to guess if that's going to be the case. I don't know. I think it's getting ahead of ourselves to go into like, what exotic is this secret mission hiding that we... I cannot say for sure that this is definitely what this is. I just think there are enough indicators where it does potentially seem more likely than ever that this could be a moment where we get something like this. There are too many different weird things going on that all seem pretty emblematic of a mission like that to be a coincidence. Granted, when these missions have shown up, they kind of just popped up all together. We didn't really get clues about them beforehand like we're seeing here. So I don't really know why they'd let us go into this hallway, but then leave the door closed at the end or something like that. Like that seems a little weird, but I wrote an article about it. I'm filming a video about it. I'll probably write another article about it tomorrow and multiply me times all the other content creators and people on social media. It is hype generation during a time when the season has been more dead than it has been in a long time. So it's something to talk about. We're talking about it. It is genuinely interesting. And even though there's no real conclusion to it now, that is where we're at now. And that is kind of what I'm thinking happens. Like worst case scenario, all of this is just related to Hawkmoon random rolls somehow, or there's some like lore bonuses, or we go through the door and it unlocks a cutscene or something. I don't know. Best case, 0 Hour 2. Cannot bank on that, but I think there is at least some amount of evidence that it's not impossible. So that's kind of my rundown of everything that's been going on. I know I've been tweeting a lot about it, and it's kind of hard to follow all of the out of context tweets about it because they're not all threaded together, and it's kind of hard to catch up because there's 2 different secrets that happened within like 12 hours. So hopefully this is a little bit more organized for you. As soon as we know something else, I will be writing about it and filming about it. It might take until next reset. I guess we can hope something might drop over the weekend, but I'm not going to bank on that. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I keep forgetting to say that. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. Take care.